What's up YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with today's video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close and we're now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows, maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the summer. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon. Something's in my eyes, literally. A piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of the set, much similar to what I pulled out of my Genesis Impact box that I opened up last year, which is this beautiful Peacock from the Underworld. This thing looks absolutely incredible as a collector's rare. But with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because more than 85% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys aren't even subscribed. And to top it all off, we got to get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this. So this question actually does not tie with today's video, but it ties with what happened with yesterday's video, which was obviously the results of Clash at the Castle. But what were your guys' thoughts on Clash at the Castle, and do you think Drew McIntyre should have won the World Heavyweight title? Let me know down in the comments below. And for today's video, we actually have some new Performage support that will be released in the upcoming Battles of Legend Terminal Revenge. Honestly, this is probably by far one of the strangest archetypes that we've had get new support. But honestly, it's kind of cool because I've said it before, I'll say it again, with sets like this and sets like I think it's usually this one. Usually with these Battles of Legend sets or Dragons of Legend sets, you basically get cards from the anime that we never got to see printed. And honestly, looking at this first card, I can pretty much almost guarantee you that we're gonna be in for potentially full-powered Pepe making a comeback, which is possible. Which is very possible, but I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm gonna get straight into it. Kicking things off, we have Performage Fire Dancer, which is a 4-star fire spellcaster pendulum with 1400 attack, 1200 defense. And its pen scale is 6, and let's see here, it has 2 separate effects, and the pen effect is a once per turn. Why is my laptop acting so weird, guys? I don't know what the hell's going on, but I can't access the fucking Wi-Fi. There we go. There we go. Anyway, the I know I'm losing track. Anyway, the pen effect reads, once per turn, you can target one Performage monster you control. This turn, if it attacks the defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Basically, the pen effect is a mad sword piece effect, which is pretty good. Not much else to say about that. Especially if you have like say Trapeze Magician, it's actually really cool because with Trapeze Magician on board, if you have it on board and it attacks a monster that has like 0 defense or something, then essentially it just brings you one step closer to having game on board, which is pretty fucking insane. Let's see here. The first monster effect, which is a once per turn, reads, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Performage monster from your deck to your hand, except this card. Basically a Stratos. It's basically Stratos. Not much else to say about that. Second effect reads, if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field. It loses 500 attack. So what's interesting, So what's interesting about this is that this card can actually not only can it search Damage Juggler and also hat trigger, which are like two of the mainstays if you will, for decks like Lightsworn, full powered Pepe and whatnot. But also, if this card were to be destroyed by battle or card effect, like say off of the effect of a Raigeki, or off of something like a Lightning Storm, basically you can target any other monster on the field and it loses the attack, which is pretty crazy. It loses 500 attack, which is pretty insane. Not much else to say about this. I'm not like the biggest fan of the Performage archetype, except for like maybe I think just for hat trigger and Damage Juggler, but that's about it. But next up we have Performage Water Dancer, which is a 4-star water spellcaster pendulum with 1200 attack, 1400 defense. Its pen scale is 2. Both of its pendulum effects and its first monster effect is a once per turn. And the first pen effect reads, if you control a Performage monster, you can special summon this card. Second effect reads, when a monster declares an attack, you can target one attack position monster, change it to defense. Which, funny enough, it actually works well with it actually works well with Fire Dancer, because if your Trapeze Magician attempts to attack, let's say a, I don't know, we'll say a Malefic Rainbow Dragon. Let's say that. Okay, let's say that, because Malefic Rainbow Dragon I think has 0 defense. You can switch Rainbow Dragon over to defense, then Fire Dance's effect would trigger, and you get to deal damage to your opponent, which is pretty crazy. Excuse me. The first monster effect reads, if this card is pendulum summon, you can add one polymerization from your deck to your hand. Basically it's a fusion stage, which is pretty cool. Oh, from your deck or grave to your hand. Okay, never mind. Yeah, basically it's a fusion stage. Second effect reads, if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can target one attack position monster, change it to defense. So basically, you have yourself a basically, I guess I guess kind of like a block attack type of effect, which is pretty cool. Not much else to say about that. How many cards do we have left? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cards, and then we have a new errata, which is going to be interesting to say the very least. But next up we have Performage Wind Drainer, which is a 5-star wind spellcaster. Pendulum, 2100 attack, 0 defense. Its pen scale is 4. The pen effect is a once per turn, and it has 3 monster effects. The first pendulum effect reads, once per turn, you can target one Performance pendulum monster control, activate one of these effects. Reduce its level by 1, increase this card's pendulum scale by that monster's. Okay, alright, I mean... Excuse me. To be fair, it is pretty cool that it can help you, that this card can help make summoning cards like Trapeze Magician a lot easier, which is really good. But at the same time, if you want to go for a pendulum summon, you want to try and max it out. Max out the full potential, the full power of this card's pendulum effect, which is really good. The first monster effect reads as a once per turn. If your opponent controls a monster or a Performage monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, you cannot special summon monster. You cannot special summon while this monster is on the field, except Performage monsters. I mean, that really doesn't make much of a difference, unless if you added most of these cards into like full powered Pepe, or some other form of like Pendulum Magician deck or something like that. In which case, yeah, it could end up being a brick. But if you're playing like pure Performage, that's actually not bad. That's not bad. Second effect reads, if this card is special summoned, you can reduce its level by 1. Again, it makes summoning Xyz monsters a lot more simpler. Third effect reads, once per turn, you can change the levels of all level 4 Performance monsters you currently control to 5. So this is interesting because it can pretty much help summon out one of the new Xyz monsters that I'm going to talk about here in a, or actually one of the 2 new Xyz monsters that I'm going to talk about here in a second. So it's pretty cool that that this card can basically either reduce a monster's level by 1 or increase it by 1, which is really sweet. Next up we have Performage Cup Tricker. Not Hat Tricker, Cup Tricker. Try saying that 5 times fast. Try saying that 5 times fast, people. Let's see here. 5-star light spellcaster Pendulum, 1200 attack, 1400 defense. The pen scale is 1. Both of its pendulum and monster effects are once per turn. And the first pendulum effect reads, you can target one Performance Xyz monster you control, attach this card to it as material. Basically, you have yourself an Xyz import, which is really nice. Second effect reads, if a card is added to your extra deck, you can add a face-up Performance pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So funny enough, just with this card alone, essentially it becomes a excuse me. excuse me, essentially it becomes a what you call it. The effects are pretty much similar to the Dino Mist archetype, where you can add cards from your face up, from your extra face up to your hand or to your board or to your graveyard or something like that. It has effects similar to it, but the monster effects is where things get really interesting. And I feel like that this card might end up making making full power Pepe even more powered. So the first monster effect reads: if this card is in your hands, you can target one Xyz monster on the field, detach one material from it, and if you do special summon this card, then one Xyz monster on the field loses 600 attack. So funny enough, you can literally target one of your opponents, like say you could target a card like say your opponent's like Tornado Dragon or their Zeus or whatever, detach a material, and it loses 600 attack, and this card gets summoned from the hand, which is pretty crazy. Let's see here. The second effect reads: if this card is detached from an Xyz monster and sent to the grave, to activate that monster's effect, you can target two Xyz monsters you control, detach one material from one of them, and attach it to the other. Basically, it's like a gift exchange. One Xyz monster is gifting the other Xyz monster their own materials, which is pretty funny. But it's still pretty interesting, because if your opponent has Zeus, you can transfer or actually rather if you have Zeus and your other Xyz monster has only one material, but your opponent activated Imper, a card like Valor or like Imperm or something in those likes, you can take that material, transfer it over to Zeus, use up Zeus' effect to wipe the entire board clean, then activate a card like say Pot of Avarice, and that one Xyz monster gets sent back into your extra deck, and you can resummon the monster again, and its effects would be online, which is actually pretty crazy. Now we move into the brand new fusion known as Performage Trapeze Witch. Which is a 7-star Dark Spellcaster fusion with 2400 attack, 1800 defense, and it requires two Performage monsters. And let's see here, it has 3 separate effects. Let's see here. The first effect reads: your opponent cannot target Performance monsters you control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your card effects. Basically, it's protection. That's pretty good. Second effect reads: your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for an attack while you control a Performance monster other than this card. Third effect reads: when an attack is declared involving your Performance monster and an opponent's monster, you can make that opponent's monster lose 600 attack. That's actually pretty cracked. Being able to just protect your whole board from being targeted and destroyed by card effects, being targeted and destroyed by the battle phase, and being able to make your opponent's monsters lose 600 attack. That's pretty solid fucking fusion, I have to admit. Although there could have been others, there could have been other effects with that card, but honestly, that's pretty insane. But now we move into a brand new Xyz monster that I never thought we would ever see. And we saw this card during the anime of Arc 5, and it's known as Performage Shadowmaker. Which this was one of the rank 5s that I was talking about with, I think Wind Drainer, yeah, with Wind Drainer, but with that being said, it's a rank 5 dark spellcaster, exceeds 2600 attack, 1000 defense, and requires 3 level 5 monsters. So it's pretty interesting to summon. It'll be a bit tricky to summon, but it's still pretty viable. Excuse me. Let's see here. The first and third effects are once per turn, and the first effect reads: you can detach one material from this card and send one Performage monster from your deck to the grave. Add one Wake Up Magic spell from your deck to your hand. Basically, you have Spell and Trap Rhoda, which is really good. Second effect reads: when a card or effect is activated that targets this card as a quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, special summon one Performage Shadowmaker from your extra deck. Basically, you get to summon another copy of itself, which is really insane. Let's see here. Third effect reads if the last material is detached from this card, you can special summon one Performage monster from your grave. So not only do you have Spell and Trap Rhoda, you can also summon another copy of itself from the extra deck, and you also get a Monster Reborn. With cards like these, who actually needs Monster Reborn? Who needs Fool's Burial Goods? No one. This is what you need right here, which is pretty insane. Next up we have Performage Trapeze High Magician, which honestly is basically Trapeze Magician on steroids, and there's really not much to say about that. Not a whole lot to say about that, but it is a rank 5 light spellcaster, exceeds with 2700 attack, 2200 defense, and requires 2 level 5 spellcaster monsters. And it has 3 effects. The first one reads that this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect while it has material. Second effect reads your opponent takes any effect damage you would have taken instead. You can only apply this effect a number of times per turn, up to the number of materials attached to this card. So funny enough, cards like I think Overlay Owl, Overlay Sentinel, Overlay Regen, and Exceeds Import are going to be some of the main cards that you're going to want to play, and then just attach your opponent's monsters to this card as material, which is absolutely insane. So pretty much any time your opponent would try to deal you effect damage, they get dealt the damage instead, and it's essentially a way to just help win games, which is pretty crazy. Third effect reads: if this card has Performage Trapeze Magician as material, it gains this effect. You can detach one material from this card. This card can make up to 3 attacks during each battle phase this turn. So ideally, if you have Trapeze Magician on board and you activate this spell card, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, and you summon High Magician, you're pretty much just off to the races from there, and you essentially have yourself a pretty nasty board. So the ideal board would be, it would be like what, Selene? I think it would be Selene, Trapeze Witch, Shadowmaker, High Magician, what access code maybe, or perhaps like perhaps like a Tornado Dragon or something like that. That's a pretty nasty board right there. But the new spell that I am referring to is Rank Up Magical Force, which is a quick play spell. And the effect is obviously once per turn, which reads: target one rank 4 spellcaster Exceeds monster in your grave, special summon it, but its effects are negated. And if you do special summon a rank 5 spellcaster Exceeds from your extract by using the first monster as material. And if you do that, attach this card to it as additional material. The second special summon is treated as an Xyz summon. So what's interesting? So what's really interesting about this is that if you have Trapeze Magician in your graveyard, you can basically treat this card as a Monster Reborn, but also has the rank up effect. So the idea would be for you to special summon Trapeze Magician, overlay it into Trapeze High Magician, and then attach this card to it as material, as material, and then go Xyz import, target one of your opponent's Xyz, one of your opponent's monsters, attach it to High Magician as the material, and then next turn you do it again if you have another Xyz import, which is pretty crazy. And you're pretty much just off to the races from there. Speaking of Damage Juggler, I talked about that earlier. The reprints that will be in the set will be Damage Juggler, Hat Tricker, Trick Clown, Trapeze Magician, and Polymerization. And also, we are also going to be getting an errata of Performage Plush Fire, which I never would have imagined it, because Plush Fire was instrumentally broken with full powered Pepe, but the errata, here's the full errata. Plush Fire, 4-star fire spellcaster, Pendulum, 1000 attack and defense, its pen scale is 5, and it looks like the monster effects were changed. The Pendulum effect is a once per turn, which reads, if a face-up Performage monster you control is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can special summon this card, then take 500 damage. So basically, this actually works with Trapeze High Magician, where your opponent will be dealt the damage, which is pretty cool. The monster effect, we actually found out that it will be given a hard once per turn. It will be given a hard once per turn, which is very, very interesting. But the effect reads: if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Performage monster from your hand or deck, except this card. Honestly, that's actually kind of crazy, given the fact that this card was heavily abused. I can't say that I'm surprised that they would give it a hard once per turn effect, which is pretty cool. In my opinion, it's actually pretty sick, because now Donated Twins, if full power Pepe is still there, it's still going to be broken, but this card now makes it so you can only use it one time during that turn, if you will, which is pretty good. Would full power Pepe still be broken by today's meta standards? 100%. But well, we will have to wait and see. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more card discussions in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It'll also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.